Over the past 2 months, I've been pursuing a pastoral role at a church in London. It was slow from the start. The elders made it very clear that they were in no rush. A few people close to me raised quiet concerns, but I wasn't listening. A successful interview, more meetings, and then an opportunity to preach. It all made it seem like things were going in the right direction. The church was 2 hours away from where I stay. And even though I sensed deep down that something was not quite right, I kept pressing on. I offered to travel during the week at my own cost. I wanted to serve. I wanted to show that I was willing. I wanted to prove that I was a good fit. But the truth is, I'd started building on my own expectations. Then, a couple of weeks ago, the email came. An elder wrote to say that they wouldn't continue the journey as they did not sense that my calling to their church was strong enough. When I read these words, I was devastated. Strangely enough, I wasn't surprised. And in that moment, the Lord brought it to me. A fresh, new, deep reality check. I realized again that in the midst of our real hope as a family to reestablish ourselves in the UK, the Lord was calling me to keep my identity rooted firmly in Christ. That does not make my search for the right role any less important. Neither does it lessen my, responsibility towards my family. But it does mean that neither a title, nor an opportunity, nor the approval of man can become the measure of my worth. My identity must first and foremost be anchored in Christ. Ephesians says that God chose us in Christ before the foundation of the world, and that He predestined us for adoption to Himself through Christ. Think about that. Before any platform, any position, before any open door or closed door, I was already chosen, already adopted, and accepted and beloved. And yes, His word says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So here's a lesson the Lord had pressed deeply into my heart. When we do not feel secure in who we are in Christ, we can start reaching for things to validate us. A role, a title, a person to affirm us. But when your identity is anchored in Christ, you can face disappointment without losing yourself. Because a closed door does not cancel God's faithfulness. And a setback does not diminish your worth. I may not have received the outcome I hoped for, but I'm still chosen, adopted, still loved, still accepted, and still seated with Christ. And that must remain enough. My identity is not what I do in God. My identity is who I am in Christ. Chosen, accepted, established, His.